filling time. So, are we ready for the next act?
Yeah.
Right, so remember that little 3-stage clap we did? Let's do that little stage 1 clap, please. Everybody do it with me. Posh, posh. Lovely. Now stage 2, please, a little bit harder, a little bit harder, a little bit harder. Now let's go stage 3. Make some noise. And please welcome Eamon across the lawyer.
It's not good being short when you do this kind of thing. Hi! It's so good to see you. I can't see any of you. No, never mind. I'm just going to imagine that you're all like super friendly, because that's going to help me, and I'm quite selfish. So, yeah, I'm Ava. I came here from Swansea. Anybody here from Swansea today? Oh, a little bit, yeah. They don't like it when we leave. We have to get up really quietly. We have to sneak out. We have to be back before they notice we've gone. They don't like us coming too clinically. They don't. But that's okay, because Swansea, they think they're a posh place, but they're not. But we haven't told them. Like, I tried to get my daughter an advent calendar from Swansea, but half the windows were boarded up. And I was the only person who thought that was weird. So, yeah, and that's because I'm not naturally a Swansea girl. I wasn't born in Swansea. Any ideas where?
Ireland.
Not South Africa, but you've got the right hemisphere. Hemisphere, people. Zimbabwe, yeah. I went out with this guy, he said to me, where were you born? I said, Zimbabwe. He goes, oh, which part? I was like, all of me? Anyway, yeah, so I've come here to talk about my sex life, obviously, because I'm a woman of an age, and that's what we have to do, because it's either that or menopause, and no one wants to go near my menopause, not even me. Not even my fucking doctor. And I know that, because can I get an appointment? I cannot. And actually, I've got a new plan for how we manage war in this country. What we need to do is we need to staff the territorial army with GP receptionists. Because those people are the best at stopping people doing anything. Anybody here a GP receptionist? Oh, thank God for that. Anyway, no, they do sterling work. Absolutely sterling work. That means they work for the NHS, don't they? And I used to work for the NHS. I still do work sort of for the NHS, just in case standing up and discussing my sex life in front of strangers turns out not to be financially sustainable. It's good to have a plan B. So I'm one of those people that you clapped for on Thursdays. Thank you. I loved that you did that. And I learned a lot during COVID. We learned a lot about human behaviour. We learned about obsession with toilet rolls. We learned about being a community. What I learned, and what's made the most profound effect on me, is the fact that straight men don't like it when you stick things in their throat. I have a straight man friend. I know, weird, but I do. And he said to me, I had to go for a COVID test. I was like, oh, honey. He goes, yeah, I don't have COVID, but the woman put the thing in my... And then she like jammed it in my throat. And then she wouldn't take it out. She wouldn't take it out. I was like, welcome to my world. I mean, it's not that every lady minds. I have some lady friends who don't mind at all, and in fact, I have one lady friend who says she can make appreciative noises. But I don't think the nurse liked it when I did that. Yeah. So yeah, I'm here mainly to talk to you about things that are probably better left unsaid. I've been having a slightly disastrous time. Last year it was very difficult for all of us, I know. I got mugged. Look, I only tell you this for sympathy. Okay, can we try that again? I got mugged. Oh, you guys are lovely. Some guy stole my antidepressants. So wherever you are, you bastard, I hope you're happy now. Yeah, it was a tough time. I was parked my car at Park Towie. Anybody know Park Towie in Swansea? You park there for 17.8 seconds and they charge you 100 quid. That place, yeah. Did you know that their parking management people are called Eternity? How ironic is that? But I was parked at Park Towie by the Costa because I like to look classy. And I was just on my phone, I was flicking through Tinder because I like to look classy, but doesn't mean I am. And this guy, the random guy, I'd never met this guy before, he opened my car door and he got in my car.
Lucky bitch.
You're not wrong, honey. I looked at him, he looked at me. Obviously, I do not resemble his wife. She would never be that lucky. And Yes, he looked at me, I looked at him, and he went, oh, fuck. And he got out of my car, he ran away, like scuttled off. I was like, no. Still the best relationship I had last year. Yeah, it's been difficult. Last year I lost a tooth, a front tooth. Now look, I do come from Swansea, but I cannot work that look. In fact, I come from a part of Swansea called Townhill. Anybody know it? Yeah, and I was doing a gig in Swansea not long ago, and I said that. I said, anybody know Townhill? And this one woman went, yeah, I know Townhill. I was like, Shani, don't tell people. And she was like, what? I said, don't tell people you come from Townhill. The only time it's okay to tell people you come from Townhill is if you moved there from Penlan. She didn't like it. She literally practically attacked me. She had to be she had to be ousted by bouncers. It was quite exciting. So I've come here from Swansea. There's been a tough time there. It's a rough place, Swansea is. Where I was living in Townhill, there was actually there's a fox. I was sitting in the middle of the road at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I was like, dude, don't you know it's 4 o'clock in the afternoon? Because foxes come out at night. But he was so stoned, he had no idea. And then the most Townhill thing I've ever seen in my life happened. Like a bunch of seagulls came and beat him up. I know, it's so weird. Yeah, so it's a strange kind of place. And I'd lost a tooth in Swansea, which is weird and unfortunate because there's no dentists. And it's not a look I can work. And during COVID we had masks, so that was really cool. But it had gone past that, and I was like, women noticed that I'd lost a tooth. Men didn't notice that I lost a tooth. And I've got to say, I really like that because there are men I've known for 20 years who couldn't pick me out of a police lineup because they've never once looked at my face. And there's one guy I saw, he said, he's sort of looking at my face and at my tooth, and I just say to him, oi, mister, eyes down here. I'm trying to work this. So that was very difficult. But it doesn't matter what happens, I'm not going to have as bad a day as I had early last year because I was walking around Swansea with my daughter, and I've got one of those handbags that's got 874 things in it, probably. Maybe some. I've got like a new life form at the bottom of that bag. NASA spends millions exploring space, but no one's brave enough to look in my handbag, you know what I mean? And anyway, so I had loads of stuff in my handbag, and because I'm a lady and I'm stressed, and I don't know about you ladies, if you're stressed, don't tell anybody this, but when you get to an age, right, you never know if you're stressed because your life sucks, or if you're stressed because you're hormonal. You just don't know. And boys, this is the time I start talking about periods. You see, male comedians have to talk about wanking, it's the rules, but female comedians have to talk about periods. I don't make the rules, I just have to follow them. So it's very difficult for me. I never know when it's going to happen. So when I'm very stressed, just in case, throw a tampon in my handbag. So there's about 108 of them in there. Okay. And then we're walking in Swansea. My daughter decided she wanted to buy some juice. So she didn't buy the nice juice. She bought the juice that's toxic waste, and we're not allowed to dump it in the canals anymore, so we put it in bottles and market it for children. And it's bright, lurid red. And she threw this in my handbag, and the lid came off, and this bottle burst all over my 108 tampons, which all immediately self-deployed. So that was a tough day. And I thought that was my worst period-related day, but it was not. I'm about to make a confession to you, ladies and gentlemen, that I've never made publicly before. And I hope that you will commiserate with me on my terrible humiliation. Because every so often, as a lady, you've got to get checked out, haven't you? And, they've got to have a good look. So I had an appointment for what we delicately call a smear test. And it's about as much fun as it sounds, guys. It is. So I went to this appointment, but of course, because I'm a very disorganised person, I got there a little bit late. I was freaking out. I was worried about all of this, and I had to go to the ladies' room. So I popped to the ladies' room. I did the tinkling as you do. Oh, something I said. It's gone to the ladies' room. I did the tinkling, and then I realised there's no tissue. Oh no. No tissue. And someone is about to investigate the lily. What the hell do I do? How can I complete the paperwork? But fortunately, I have my handbag. By this time, sans 108 self-deployed Tampax. And I dug in the bottom and I found like a crumpled up tissue on top of a half-eaten Oreo. So I did what I could do. I went through, heard my name being called, panicked. It's terrible. And of course I went through to the doctor's room and I had to assume the position. Now I know men, this is not the position that you assume, because when men assume the position, they think they're about to get lucky and they do this, don't they? Chin goes up, he looks relaxed, he thinks great things can happen. When ladies have to assume the position, we're not that lucky, are we? You're gonna lie on your back like a stranded beetle. And you're gonna look up at the ceiling, and they always put a weird picture there, like a really weird picture. But it's really worse in the place that I was, because they had the 10 Commandments up there and I'm not sure what they were trying to say. And I was lying there in the position and the gynecologist, it's a big name, isn't it, for a Friday? The gynecologist was setting up base camp over there by my feet. And then he said to me, right, ready? And I was like, oh, okay. He said, just take a breath, like I hadn't thought of that. And then he got a look on his face, which I can only describe as bewildered. Now, there are two things you don't want to see on your gynecologist's face. Probably the worst expression would be disgusted. Close second is bewildered. Because I want to have confidence that this guy is seeing everything he's expecting to see at this point, and he was not. And I did not know what was wrong, but I was severely anxious. And I was lying there trying to remember to do the breathing thing, and he got a look on his face, and he reached over to his little table of scary-looking things, and he picked up a pair of forceps. And because I work in the NHS, I know what those are. And I know you don't want them anywhere near the garden. But he used his forceps. He had a little dig, and he pulled out a postage stamp. A postage stamp, people. And I know that you will commiserate with me, because that is the most egregious waste of a postage stamp you've ever heard of. Do you know what these things cost now? Like, I have no idea. I don't know what they cost now. But I know it's a lot of money. And I, in fact, have a friend who said to me, do you know what a postage stamp costs now? It helps if I speak English, I know, I'm sorry. And I said, no, I have no idea. What does a postage stamp cost? She said, it'd be cheaper to take it there yourself. I was like, really? Awesome, because I have a letter here that I want someone to take to London for me. Will you take it? She went, oh, I don't go to London anymore. I said, you don't go to London anymore? She goes, no, it's a scary place. I'm like, honey, you live at Townhill. She goes, yeah. Did you know that someone gets stabbed in London every 52 seconds? I was like, wow, poor guy. Why doesn't he leave? And with that, people, I've got to get back to Swansea before they notice I've gone. You've been awesome. I've been Ava. Thank you.
Ava de Costa by everyone. Excellent. So we've got one more act in the section now. Remember we did this earlier? Remember? 1, 2, 3.